Good day, it's Gary from G&H Honeybees. Today's topic is all about beeswax. It's going to be a short video, but I just wanted to show you something that I have observed. Now, when honeybees make their wax, it is pure white, as you can see by this burr comb that I've taken out of Hive 2. It is white as can be. Oh. There's a bit of honey in there, so that's why it's got a little tint to it. But you can see all that is, it's pure white. So let's move that aside for a second. And I'm going to tell you a little story here. We moved my 3 main hives up to the up to the fireweed area into the woods, and we came. We went up last week and inspected the hives, and we opened them mainly because we didn't open them when we took the hives up there. We just took the hives up there, set them up, and let them settle and do their thing and get oriented to where their spot is now. And so last week when we went up, we opened the hive, checked to make sure frames hadn't shifted around, and sure enough, in Hive 2, the same hive that I got the white burr comb from, the frames in one of the 10 frame boxes had slid over, and they had built comb in that open space between the wall of the hive and the frame. And it turns out that that's got a yellowish tint to it. This is the comb they were building down the side of the box. And something I don't understand is, I know their wax is white, but is this a result of what they're feeding off of at the time? Because none of the comb now this is the same hive the white burr comb came out of. And at that time they were feeding off blackberries, and they were foraging off blackberries. Now they're feeding off fireweed, and this is the comb that they built. Even the cappings on the new honey that they've got is yellow, whereas the cappings on the blackberries was all white. So I'm just really curious about the why it's like this, but I'm assuming that it's because of what they're feeding off of and what they're collecting from. Now, if you saw my extraction video from a couple of weeks ago, I had pure white wax cappings, and I rendered it down, and you can see around the edge it's a little white, but it's got a yellowish tint to it, and I believe that's because there was still a lot of honey in the wax when I was melting it down, and so it's taken on the color of the honey. And I'm kind of wondering about this burr comb, because it's pretty much the same if it's just not taking on the color of the honey that they're feeding from. You can see that's still pretty clean. That's a really clean piece of wax here. That's about ½ pound. So I just thought I'd show you that. It's kind of interesting to see that, well, you see on this side it's kind of whitish. But you can see that has been tinted a yellowish color. There's a little bit of white. Now that was probably the side that was next to the box. But you can see how quickly that tinted. That was only a week that they had built that, and it's already got a yellow tint to it. And of course, this is the burr comb from when they were in the backyard feeding off blackberries. And this did have, you can still see little shiny droplets of nectar in there. Quite a contrast in what they're feeding from. All right, so beeswax. If anyone has any insight into why it would color so quickly, or why there's such a big difference, please let me know. I'm just assuming a few things here, so it'd be appreciated if someone had some insight into this. All right, thanks very much for watching. Appreciate you watching, and keep on watching because there's going to be more.